Oh, there we go. Well, wow, okay. What's up, Ark? What's up, Sapphire? Yuzong, Zubpub? Oh, Kai's here even. Oh my goodness. So we're starting it a little bit early. Obviously, I can already tell what's being scuffed, but so I figured out yesterday that my CPU had reverted some stuff, so we're starting off a little bit earlier, guys. Um, we're starting off a little bit earlier so that I can make sure that stuff is working because stuff is not working. Um, but yeah, so that's I gotta tell you guys some news. Obviously, if you're looking at the channel and you saw the notification, you're looking at a new series as well that for lives, which is the. It's been suggested by more than one person, but and that's usually how I get motivated to do stuff anyways. But anyways, yeah, Weapon Master. So it's gonna be a long series. It's gonna be a painful series, but it's gonna be a very helpful series. Question: why do you put your models so zoomed out? Because it gets in the way of Mlbb. Not gonna lie. But yeah. So please deal with me while I get situated with the scuff over here. Um, I'm trying to make sure that this stuff works because skill issue. But hopefully this fixed it. Yeah, there we go. So let me know. Oh, I should probably lower the volume of the music because we're actually talking now. At least it wasn't too loud of a intro music, anyways. But so yeah, we're obviously here for the well, I guess I forgot to change the little tag on the side. I was getting it set up for tomorrow, but today is the Leomord lab, not the build guide. That's what the Weapon Master one. So, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about Leomord tonight. Not right now. We're gonna be talking about him in like 40 minutes or so. Right now, like I said, I want to make sure stuff is running perfectly fine because I'm doing the multi-stream thing again to Twitch. I got the Twitch chat pulled up. I got everything supposedly good. And yesterday, yesterday, let me tell you what happened. We were rendering the entire stream on the CPU only, like 100%. My GPU was like being like 20% used max. I was like, this is insane. So that would explain why we were scuffing so hard, basically. But yeah, that's basically the big update on my stream settings and the scuffed part of it. So we're dealing with that right now, and I changed it back to use the GPU like it should have, and then the new encoder and all that other stuff. So my CPU is back to being like a 30% usage, and my GPU is back to like 40% usage, which is more along the lines of what I wanted it to be slash I expected it to be. It's just that whenever I flipped this new CPU and put the new CPU in this computer, it was like, nah. We're gonna delete all your settings, and we're gonna just go like, stop. And then I didn't dawn on me to check on it before the stream last night. I was just like, blah, this is insane. This is insane. Clown Gaming, it's my second account. Shariar, good morning. Good morning, Shariar. So, FYI, Shariar, your suggestion has been taken into consideration, and more people than you have suggested that. So, I decided that we're gonna make that a series, along with the Hero Labs, because we're kind of sort of doing it for the Hero Labs already. But when it comes to Weapon Master stuff, which is what I'm calling the series, when it comes to itemization, it takes a long time to be able to properly guide people on how to do it. And then there's certain heroes that you can put under an umbrella term, like supports. And then there's some heroes that you can't put under an umbrella term, like marksman, because they're so wildly varied. Like, you can categorize them. It's like DHS, or attack speed, or crit attack speed, or crit burst, blah 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 blah. Even magic ones. But yeah, so yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. We're gonna fix some stuff up. We're gonna make sure that stuff is working. Zero's got more bass today. Yeah, so I also realized that my microphone settings weren't loaded either, so this is more this is more in tune with what I wanted. Slash I thought I had. So these are all my old settings that never got fucking updated. I was like, bruh, I'm getting scuffed out here, out of my way. No. So yeah, I fixed a lot of stuff before the stream. I actually was planning to start the stream an hour earlier than right now, but obviously, as you can tell, I was like, how dare this thing not be like all up and stuff. I was mauling, bro. I was mauling. I was like, bro, what is this? So yeah, it's part of the Wavelink app that I have on this. It takes some audio effects and stuff, but yeah. So let me guys, okay, yeah, trust. Let me tell you guys a little bit about that tomorrow's stream, so I don't have to explain it so much in detail. Like, okay, so I guess I should say it a different way. Tomorrow you're gonna be hearing the condensed version, the compressed version of what I'm about to say, because it's gonna be probably more shared slash play. People are gonna be way more interested in that type of stream. It's gonna be similar, I assume, in popularity to uh the new hero guide, the NPG guide stuff, wherein people find the VOD and they start to watch it, because it's very helpful stuff, right? And not a lot of content out there like that. So I have to talk more VOD like in those streams. So just be warned that tomorrow, it's only gonna be. I hope to start. To be honest with you guys, I hope to start tomorrow's stream at around 10, and then I'll start the other stream at 12. So I'm gonna stop it'd be like 2 streams tomorrow basically. I set it for like 11 just in case I don't make it to the 10 o'clock one. So, but yeah, just that's basically what I'm doing. Tomorrow we're gonna have 2 streams tomorrow where we talk a lot more about itemization in general, and tomorrow's, like, this first stream is gonna be, the language in that stream is gonna be more tuned towards new players slash people that don't know exactly why some things work the way they work. And so it's going to be a lot slower talking, a lot more concise talking, hopefully not a scuff, so that people don't like get scared away by all the difficulty of why stuff is working. So I'm planning to make it like that. I watched your itemization live for 3 times straight, still confused about some stuff. So yeah, go ahead and ask. That's no problem. Right now we're just chilling until 12 o'clock. I'm literally just explaining what's going to happen tomorrow anyways. But if you guys have any questions in general about ML, whenever we're doing a live stream, just go ahead and ask. Feel free to ask. If it's ML related, I guarantee you I'll take time off the stream to answer your question. I mean, you're already here. You're being an active viewer, right? So the least I can do is try to answer your questions when I can, right? How's the videos of the NPG series going? So because I switched to Premiere, I scrapped all of it. Every single thing that I did, I scrapped it. I had a lot of progress done on it, but I scrapped it. And I don't know if that's so much prio anymore, because I have a feeling that by the time I start working on it, they're going to release the new GUI. So I don't really want to do too much work on it and then just end up having to redo it, you know what I mean? But I am working on it, but it's not as high prio. I got other stuff that's higher prio, like the tier lists and the you guys know, the auto drafter stuff and this and that. So yeah, it's hard to balance. Like I told you guys, it's hard to balance streaming and making videos. So that's why for the future, you know, especially, you know, next week and going forward, I'm going to start to stream less, work more on videos. But the streams will be more targeted, more concise, and a lot more packed. I mean, they're already pretty much packed with information, but they're going to have more purpose. Like right now we're talking, when we do the hero labs, obviously they're targeted towards the heroes that we're talking about. But like the Weapon Master series, you know, stream 1, it's just gonna be like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, you know, like best builds for your favorite heroes. Okay, so then, but what heroes though? Like, how am I supposed to know? So I'm gonna format it in a way that you guys know which heroes I'm talking about, and then you guys can like download the file. I'll answer your questions in a second, guys. Give me a second. I have to do one more thing, one more question. Actually, this is more of a question for you guys than an explanation. When doing hero itemization stuff, like a recommended build, for example, this Wan one right here, there's if you hear beeping, that's my keys that tell me they need new batteries. There's like a thing in my keys that tells me that they need new batteries. So sorry about the beeping. It wasn't anything on your side. It's my side. But here's the thing. So like, I think I had a version of this somewhere I can show you guys, so it's not so scuffed, and I have a better sense of what I'm trying to show you guys. In the server, in the Discord server, I've posted like pictures of my builds before, and I'm not sure what you guys would prefer. I got multiple styles that I've done, but again, I'm not sure which one you guys. I'm about to show you the examples. I have two examples that I did differently, and I would like to know you guys' opinion on which one you prefer, slash, you know. So yeah, here you go. Let me show you. So side screen, please. There you go. So what you're looking at here is Wan, and it took a little bit of time to edit, not too much. It's just kind of trolling. But basically, at this point in time, Wan had this is before her 3 mark update. So this is back when she was 4 marks, and she had different scalings as to what she has right now. So back then, for Wan to work, it was back when, if you guys want a timing of it, it's back when Beatrix was still meta slash not nerfed. This is the era this build came from, so it does not apply right now anymore. So just FYI, don't take this face value, but this is like the setup for it. I had to resist the burst from Beatrix because she was just doing so much damage, right? So 2 armor, 1 magic res, full pen, and then this fighter emblem talent combined with Inspire would basically let you not win the lane against the unnerfed version of Beatrix, but at least it would let you compete and make a stalemate lane, so when you get ganked or receive a gank from your side laners, it would help you survive. Not that I have to justify this anymore, because that's from a time that has already passed, but at least the setup of it, you know, if I have different emblem suggestions, I could set it up like this. If you guys like this kind of style, the best build, a situational build, like tuned towards magic resistance. So if there's like an enemy Harley, this is what you would have built back in the day. Or if you're dealing with very, very chonky enemies where they not a lot of squishy targets. So like back when the tank meta was starting, people would go super chonky. So that's what this is all about. This is one of the setups for it, like possible way to make them. And then after that, I made this one. And this one's a little different, as you can tell. This one's more based on what order you should get the items in. So 1 Corrosion, 2 Windtalker, 3 Scarlet, 4 Wind of Nature, 5 Malefic, 6 Athenas, you know, in this order. And then, however, you can see that this little like faded out item here beside number 1, meaning that Wind of Nature, you could rush Wind of Nature against certain scenarios and it would work. You would just then shift everything off, you know, one by one. So Wind of Nature, Corrosion, etc, etc, etc. Same thing for like the 4th one. If you didn't need Wind of Nature that match, you could get Corrosion Scythe for more damage. And if you didn't need Athena Shield, you could get the Blade of Despair for more damage if the enemies were squishy, or DHS if they weren't squishy. And again, this is from an era right after her buff. This is right as her release 3 mark buff landed. And once again, this doesn't apply anymore, but it's just to show you different ways that we can make these, the conclusion of those itemization streams can be in this format or that format. The other format I was thinking of is potentially like a web type format where it kind of has like the hero head in the middle. If you guys have seen web charts, you guys should know what I'm talking about, where you basically have like the hero head or the hero's icon in the middle, and then there's like little items off to the side, and the bigger they are, the more important they are to that hero. And we could basically make them like that if you guys would like, because that would help a lot more for like marksmen like Wan who can vary their builds like that, and you know, especially for supports, because obviously the biggest one would be like Dom Ice and stuff, but like I don't know, it's just like it's all about visual representation and what you guys think is the best option, slash if you guys have your own suggestions. You know, I'm open to suggestions here, basically is what I'm trying to say. What makes the most sense, because we can't just have this. I can't just be like, oh yeah, this is the build, let's go. You know, no, like because it doesn't encompass the entirety of the analysis, you know, because we're not just out here to give you the best one build, because 99% of the time these builds for all these heroes, you know, the heroes are complex, you know. It's not like they used to be simple like before, and so like I need to make sure that when I'm delivering this type of content, you know, and when you guys share these pictures, if you guys do, that it's easily to understand for whoever you share it to, and that they're like, oh, okay, so basically these are the items that matter, and these are the items I can switch based on the game, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're gonna be working on for those, in conclusion of those videos. So yeah, that I'm gonna need a lot of help for you guys to choose this. Where would this try be posted? Yeah, community tab, and also in Discord, and also on those VODs for the videos that they belong to. So 3 different places, for sure, at least. Okay, so let me read up on chat now. Sorry, I just had to explain that before I lost track of my own thoughts there. Thoughts of Tank Martis as of now? I think that he's still better as a jungler slash XP laner at the moment. But I don't think Tank Martis is bad either. Probably like somewhere in A tier. Sharia, you said that the magic heroes who do burst damage should use Genius Wand in their build, but why is there no Genius Wand in Sicilian and Lilia's build, and many more? So there's a misconception from not too long ago, but that's not people's fault. It's Mobile Legends' fault, because they changed their damage formula, and the problem is that it used to be that you couldn't build, or you shouldn't build, both Genius Wand and Divine Glaive on the same hero. You know, because it'd be counteractive. You'd kind of end up being like reducing their armor and then doing percent pen off of a lower amount of armor. But now they synergize, so they actually don't do that anymore. And the percent pen is off the total armor. So I can show you guys what I mean. It's not that hard. Like I said, I am a complete nerd when it comes to this type of stuff, and I do not hesitate to show you guys, or even explain to you guys, how this stuff works, right? So let's see if I can find a dark mode of this web page. Probably not. I don't want to blind you guys, but I guess the rest of the overlays are kind of dark, so it shouldn't. But I'll show you guys a damage calculator in a second. But yeah, if you're looking at heroes like Lilia and stuff, oh, buffering. For some reason, the XR1 stuff thingy majiggy has decided to stop working on me. So you're looking at like a frozen frame of the Wan one. My bad. Let's see if we can make it work. There we go. So for Lilia, the reason you wouldn't see Genius in their build is weird. I'm honestly confused as to why you don't see it, but this is like not the best build for Lilia. It all depends on what you want to do with her. If you look at the top globals for her, which we can, it's not like you can't go to top globals for reference, you know. If you look at the top globals, the reason they have it like this is because of utility. So in their team their team comps, they are the sole source of crowd control, right? That means that their whole team relies on them to slow down the enemies. That's why they need to get that Ice King wand right after the boots and the talisman, right? Because they need to make sure they're slowing the enemies down. Slash, it does help you land your S1s a lot easier for her. So for her, it makes sense. And why you saw what you saw, the rest of those items, that's more of a, I would say it's more of a misconception that a lot of Lilia players have for the Holy Crystal. Um, they believe that this build right here does more damage than the same build, but instead of getting Holy Crystal with Genius. And it's not true. You do more damage with Genius. Slash, if you're being a support, if you already have Ice Queen and Glowing, getting that Genius is probably not going to be bad at all. It's going to probably help your team more. But yeah, just stuff happens, man. You know, this it's like that sometimes. We just have to deal with it. Also, I have no idea why this thing is lagging. And it's not the PC this time, I promise you guys. It is not the PC. Hardware decoding when available. Okay. Okay, that should fix it a little bit better. But yeah, that's why for Lilia specifically, you're seeing what you see. I personally usually have, when I take her, I try to make sure I draft her in a team where there's enough crowd control that I can go more burst. So this build right here is geared more towards more burst than anything. So the glowing and the genius in this chonky meta, plus then you get the Ice Queen. Then of course these are like her Trinity. This is called the Trinity Wand combo. Very recognizable cancer for fighters. This is like the bane of all fighters right here. These three items, fighters hate you. And, you know, icing on the cake, Divine Glaive. But yeah. We can talk about Lilia itemization and stuff tomorrow, actually. If you guys have suggestions for these heroes for tomorrow's stream, like before the actual lab, because tomorrow's lab is going to be, if I recall correctly, Wan Wan. So if you guys want to talk about the itemization about any other heroes, make sure you just go out, just tell me. We're only gonna have like 1 hour or 2 hours max to talk about them, and some heroes are more complex or slash have more item choices. So you know, it can all vary in the end. But if you guys have any specific heroes in mind, I know for sure I want to talk about Beatrix and I want to talk about Lilia. But if you guys have other requests, let me know. When you do multiple hits, always use Genius. Yeah. It's not even multiple hits anymore. It's just Genius is so good in general. But yes, if you have multi hits, you get to activate all stacks of Genius faster. When you do one hit knockout, use Divine Glaive. No. Even if you're a Oko type mage, you will do more damage with Genius and Glaive than Holy Crystal and Glaive, believe it or not. It's just a fun fact. I don't think the new UI is changing the emblem stuff though, and since they canceled the new matrix system, you can make a video on farming achievements for emblems. But the new UI, Inari, changes the entire way of how you get early game, like all the early game rewards change with it, so that's what I'm scared of more than anything. Cillian builds more mana oriented because he needs mana. I use FOB with Granger and Bloodlust. That's for survivability though. Am I thinking of a blog site? I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how I would run a blog site, but I'm thinking of branching out on the auto drafter to be like the one and only, you know, like resource place for like people who really want to talk about ML stuff. What's up, Knight? Welcome to the chat. What's up, Bala? Oh, Jawalt's here too. Hello. I'm catching up slowly, but what I like, if you guys want to talk about long-term goals for that auto drafter site, like this is like the vision, okay? Way off in the future, but this is the vision, okay? It's gonna be a website that primarily focuses on that. Oh, what's up, Yukari? Focuses on the auto drafting, and that's the resource that you click. So if you're going ranked 5-man, you click on that. If you're going competitive 5-man, you click on that. And if you don't care about either of those, then you can click on hero, uh, heroes or items. And ideally in the future, what I want to do is that when you click on heroes, it opens up the all the heroes, organized. And when you click on a certain hero, it just gives you as much information about them as possible. Like, this is how good they are in the early game, in the late game, in the mid game. This is they have high burst, low peel, a lot of crowd control, a lot of AoE, a lot of single target, all these parameters basically, so that when you click on them, you're just kind of like, you're very informed about this hero, and you know more than anybody with that is loading them up in game would know, right? So like a very helpful place to go to. And then it would also link you towards, the best builds and stuff, and why these items work on them and all that other stuff. That's ideally, what I would like. And then if you go to the itemization tab, you tell you uh about all the small items, the core, the building items, like the item, I guess, pieces. So when you're talking about, for example, OP early game items, Fury Hammer, the Elegant Gem, and stuff like that. All that stuff would be like highlighted, and like, you get to know more about stuff. So that's my ideal. I would love to make something like that, but it's so far off in the future, and it takes so much time that I don't want to even promise it. But that's, if you guys think I don't have goals for that website, I do have goals. It's just slowly but surely, very slowly but surely. Mm-mm. I use corrosion after building Hunter Strike and Bloodlust Axe on Leo. Main reason is increasing his reaping capabilities. Thoughts? So back in the day, I would not disagree with you, because, and the as you can see, that build up there kind of is from back in his release days. I'm very experimental on a lot of heroes, but in general, I am also very how do I say this? I try to take things when I make builds for heroes. The main thing that I want to make sure is that if by the way, these builds are so outdated. I haven't even touched Leo Mord's builds, but I know how they buffed him. I've been keeping up with his scalings, and so everything you see there is about to change in like 15 minutes when we start talking about him specifically. But when we're talking about builds, you have to analyze the kit, the scalings on the kit, and the place in their meta, the weaknesses that hero has. And so when everything that goes into a build, at least when I make a build, is number one, is that build real game ready? Like, is it not some like, oh, I'm gonna run, 3 BODs because I can one shot people, no, none of that. Is like, is it the maximum that you can do it in a game and realistically get that in a game and you wouldn't suffer, no compromises, right? Can you actually get away with it, right? Is it real game ready? There's probably a better word for that, a better term for that, but that's number one when making builds, for at least when I make them. Number two is this build a kit patcher or a kit enhancer. So if there's like a weakness that this hero has, maybe they're too squishy. Do you patch that through your build and make them chunkier through your build so that you can, last longer in fights and stuff? Or do you just say, F it, I'm just going to enhance all the strengths that they have, leave their weaknesses, and let my team cover for my weaknesses? What is, there's a balance there, and what do you want? It really depends on the limits of your hero's kits, which then talks and goes into variability. How many items can your hero vary, because it gets complicated. And then on top of all that, you have to have the overarching theme. What is the purpose of this build? And what do you hope to accomplish by it? If you have a lot of movement speed items, is it because you want to get away from and dash around people? What is this? What is the purpose of what you're doing? Everything has to have a reason. Everything has to mesh in and intertwine in the end. So you can't just, make arbitrary random builds. You know what I mean? And so that's the kind of mentality I have when I make builds. So yeah, that kind of mentality will obviously lead you to be very experimental with them. So everything that people talk about, like, oh yeah, what do you think about this crazy build on this hero? Trust me, I am the first person to make crazy builds, but then I do test them, and I'm like, yeah, nope, yeah, no, let's go back to the yabai, yabai, yabai. You know, you go back to the drawing board. That was bad, but yeah. I'm not gonna like the new update on Starlight's too laggy on my phone. Oh, really? Thoughts on Crit Claude? Crit Claude can be useful if you're dealing with a bunch of enemies that are very squishy, and they're trying to counter you by taking burst. So that's when Crit Claude would shine, if at all. But 99% of the time, you're drafting Claude in because of the meta is chonky. So hello, meta is chonky. Hello, Claude is meta. You know. But yes, Crit Claude is very good if the enemy is very squishy. I've seen some builds for Argus. Argus Dead Hero Trust. Argus needs something more than his ult. I think that Argus needs to be able to cast his ultimate during the animation of his S2 or S1 because he's died so many times when I use him. And then it's not that I can't click, my fingers aren't fast enough to know when to click the ultimate. It's just that you literally cannot click ultimate while doing S2. So I think a simple buff like that will make Argus a lot more meta, or meta proof. You know, IMO at least. Crit Sun. So for Sun and crits, that's a little bit more complicated than you think. But in general, I can tell you that it's not worth it. You do burst and stuff, but it's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. If you want to build the most cancer type of Sun, I recommend that you look into debuffs more than buffs. Because he has the armor break passive, right? So look at the maximum amount of debuffs you can apply to an enemy with Sun, and that's where you will profit the most. So try to go that route. And if you're going for burst, make it skill burst, not a basic attack burst, because then when you land on someone, you can literally like almost one-shot them. And then if you have to stay for prolonged fights, then your passive kicks in and your auto attacks start to hurt. So then you don't really have to rely on staying inside the battle, because that's one of Sun's biggest weaknesses, right? So yeah, that's something you should consider if you're going for Sun. I like Argus Jungler because late game he can survive those solo Lord engages enough to maybe hopefully hit a retry, you know what I mean? So he can tank more than your tank in the late game, or you can just use him to bait skills and stuff. So that's why I would like to see Argus buffed a lot, you know, because then you would see some like nasty meta uses for him. One defense ain't enough for me personally. I run CDR boots, Hunter Strike, Bloodlust Axe, Dom Ice, Corrosion. Insert counter defense item here. If you're talking about Leo Mord, then yes, you are correct. You do need some tanky items on him, and Brute Force Breastplate is not one of them. You cannot afford in this meta. You cannot afford to run Brute Force Breastplate anymore. It's just not. It's not going to be a good time for you if you do that to yourself. Not at all. Let me see if I can fix this lag here. REC 601, REC 709. Okay, it's the 709 that crashes it. Okay. Man, CDR is fairly short, though it's a bad habit as usual, as a feint since his nerf will happen eventually. Yeah. Are you still working on the auto drafter? Yeah, Inari. We're getting a lot of work done, but like I told you guys, the developer I'm working with is in college right now, and I'm glad I found the person I found because they understand, and that right there in of itself is a phenomenal accomplishment to understand what the goal is, and comprehend the scope of what I'm trying to make. So I'm working with him, and we're both working. Basically I'm not rushing him. I could, but then I would get a rushed product, and it's not like I can't, like I said, but at the same time, I prefer something that is very, very fine-tuned, very well-oiled type of machine type thing. Quality over speed, I guess, is what I'm going for there. But yes, we do have progress there. We are working on that, 100%. I believe I showed you this, you guys recently. I don't know if you were here, Inari, but I did show the stream, what was going on. I think I have it downloaded. I can pull it up again. It's not a problem. Yeah, I have it here. In case you haven't seen it, I can pull that up again. Just give it a second to load. Okay, I found it. Let me just rewind it for us and then flip the screen. There we go. This is not XR1 anymore. This is VLC. So here you go. This is I showed this already on stream recently, but it's not like it's a bad thing to show you guys again. Here you go. This is kind of like the updates on it a little bit. Like I said, we're working through it slowly and surely, but one of the features that it will have is that you will be able to select your team's hero pools, and you know, and then your roles. Excuse me. So you would click, you would click your person's role, so XP, gold, mid, roam, and then the hero pool that they have in for those, and you can choose any hero really, because for ML you can have mages that are good supports, you can have tanks that are good supports, but some of them you also go XP or jungle, blah 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 blah. So you can put whichever heroes you want in the hero pool, but the way it works is that you can have when the suggestions will come through when you're drafting. It's going to give you suggestions. Okay, this is what's meta, this is what we recommend you take against what the enemy has picked. But when things synergize, and not only does it, like for example, if you're within your hero pool is Martis, and Martis is meta and it's also open, it's gonna very, very highly recommend Martis because it's somebody within your hero pool and it's also meta. So you're able to, it's going to be able to prioritize on that. And so that's important, I guess, at least to me, because it takes into consideration your own team's skill sets. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you know what roles are going here and stuff like that. And it would also like affect you when you're choosing roles. Like, okay, I want to draft my marksman last, or my jungle last, or my roamer last, whatever last. It will affect the draft, obviously, and the recommendations and stuff. So just FYI, of course, I would recommend you put your roamer last, because it will take into consideration all the enemy picks, and then it will be like, yeah. Let me make this smaller for you guys, because it's like not fitting on the screen properly. But yeah, it should be able to take into consideration stuff like that. So when you're over here, it would be able to like take into consideration your enemy teams, the enemy teams like heroes, and be like, okay, since your last pick was roamer, and these 4 heroes are on the enemy team, the common roamer that pops up that it counters all of them is this hero here. This roamer right here is very good into all of them, and that's what it would recommend, and that's how it's gonna work. So there's a lot of stuff, like I said, going into this. It just takes time. It just takes time. So that's the update that I have for that. Like I said, we are working on it. It's just I'd rather not rush things like this ever. If I can avoid it, I will. Thoughts on the buffed brute force? It sucks. It sucks. I think it needs more buff. That's what I think about that. So if I go for burst damage build for Cecilion and Lilia, so first core item, Genius Ice Queen, then Glowing Wand. If you're going for a burst build on sort of for Lilia, like I said, we can talk about that tomorrow during that stream, because Lilia is going to be talked about tomorrow. So just save that question for tomorrow / look at the VOD tomorrow. That way we don't have to repeat ourselves on stream. But for Sicilian though, I would recommend you stick to something more along the lines of, depending on what the enemy has, something more like this. If you're going for burst, Sicilian, it depends on your playstyle, honestly. If you don't, so you can replace Talisman with Dom Ice. It depends on your playstyle. Most people would actually recommend you do it. So in this meta, I guess it's more like this. Obviously it's Sicilian, so please get your Elegant Gem first, then all your other items. I like to rush Lightning Truncheon because it has mana, it has CDR, and it's gonna, get you burst earlier in the game. Then I get Dom Ice because, Dom Ice is OP and it has mana, right? So again, scaling off his mana passive. And then Genius Wand or Glaive. This depends on how chonky the enemy is. If they're already super chonky and they got Athena's up and other items, I would switch the place of Glaive with Genius. But if they don't have one, such if they only have one Magic Res item, I don't care. I get Genius Wand, and then I get Glaive. And this final item, that Holy Crystal, I used to work, but when they changed Blood Wings, it's better if you get Blood Wings, or even if you get the late game Clock of Destiny, it's still 600 mana. And if the game goes super late game, this is an unpopular opinion, but you can actually never sell your Elegant Gem and just build it into a clock as your final item, and then you get HP and mana, on top of everything, right? So personally, this is what I would do. Like I said, it's very unpopular to build clock that late on Sicilian, so I can see where people would be opposed to this. They'd rather build in a Winter Truncheon or something like that, but it is what it is. This is, I guess, for this meta, this is what I would build on him for strictly burst / survivability. Sort of bummed that the new Dom Ice only reduces the enemy's attack speed to 7%, or was it higher? So for that was 65%, and it's broken. What do you mean? Only? So it's percentage based now though. Like right now it's flat. Whatever your attack speed is, it gets reduced by 0.3. The new one, it's whatever your max attack speed is, cut that to only 70% of that value. So if you have a value of 3, then you're only going to be able to do 2.1, instead of, just doing 3 minus 0.3, which would be 2.7. So if you look at that, it's a big nerf / it's a nerf to attack speed, but it's a huge buff to Dom Ice. So the lower you see that percentage on the new Dominance Ice, the better it is against attack speed heroes, basically. The stronger the buff on it. Thoughts on a Hellcurt lab? The corrosion changes seems to benefit Cucaracha greatly. Well, for Hellcurt, I'm gonna have to say, he's not very popular, so I'm trying to do popular ones, but like honestly, it's up to me. I just don't like to put stuff on the schedule and change it when people are like, oh, I really wanted to see what Whamrun's lab was, but here's the problem. Like I said before, we're moving on to less streams, more video content. So the Hero Lab stuff is gonna be like, it's gonna be like maybe 1 or 2 streams a week, and I think the item one, the Weapon Master one, is gonna be the most prio one. But and then I might have to do M4 contents after that. But listen, if we can sneak in, if you have Hellcurt questions though and you want to sneak him in during a stream, feel free to. But I don't think I'd dedicate an entire stream to him. You know, not yet at this moment at least, but if you're curious about Helkert and what's good on him and stuff like that, I've already labbed him for this season, and I can safely say if you're going for, this is a very underrated build on him. Red Retry DHS Brute Force, yes, the Brute Force everybody hates. BOD RGM Rose Gold Meteor, and then Malefic paired with that Red Retry is cancer. Is cancer. You do have to pair it with this though. Wild Power. Excuse me. It's not your normal build, but if you're looking and you're interested in those kinds of things, this is the build to kind of keep your eye on. And if you're talking about the new corrosion and stuff, trust me, you don't need it. Once you land on someone, you land, your stingers are dead. That's the goal. That should be the goal for Hellcurt. Don't try to make him an AoE slow down. Oh wow, the stream is frozen again, so you can even see what I was showing. Wow, that's insane. Hold up, I got you. I'm gonna see why it's doing that, because I have no idea why it's doing that. Sorry about that, Chief. You're not seeing anything. There you go. Let's see. There you go. So there you go. There. Let me move myself out the way a little bit. Ignore the label. It's not Tank Kurt anymore. But yeah, there you go. That's what we're looking at for Hellcurt. So hopefully this helps. Okay. That's what I meant by that. You know, just try not to avoid trying to go for the slowdown route. And the pen route for him, it's not as effective as this. Trust me, I've done the maths. Your Clock of Destiny build tips help me a lot now. I only build Clock when I am at level 10 or 12. Otherwise, stick with Elegant Gem. Yeah, that's one of the most OP late game itemization tips. Very good, very good. Been having brain damage over running Claude with the guy Lamau. What? Oh, this is interesting. So the video itself is doing some weird stuff here. Huh. Okay, there we go. Let's see how long it lasts without the lag. It's weird. It's like pausing for some reason. I haven't done any, like I said, I haven't done anything to it. But now that we're okay, it's 12 past 12 a.m. EST. Let's go ahead and start talking about Leomord, which is the whole point of the stream, right? We're on schedule, blah 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 blah. Like I told you guys, I'm gonna try to start these a little bit early when possible. So let's go ahead and talk about this guy's kit and stuff, and get this whole Leomord lab down the road. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If they're Leomord related, you know, that's great. If they aren't, that's also fine. But I'm gonna try and focus a little bit more on the Leomord related ones and see why the hell my stream is lagging for no damn reason. So weird. Configure video, yes please. Device defaults. Oh my goodness gracious, what the hell is this? You guys looking at this? Yeah, no. What is this color? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that's so bright. What the hell? There we go. It's a little bit better. Um, limited color range. That's definitely not it. Let's go for default, because I don't know what the default one is. This is so weird. Color space seems to matter a lot for this, apparently. And then it seems to not like the FPS it's going at. So color the range, full, buffering. Let's see what this does. Yeah, sorry about the scuff. Like, it's always something. You know, it's always something. Let's hope this lasts longer now. It's like, it's not that it isn't working, it's just that it's scuffed. No idea what's happening. It's interesting though, trust. I feel like college now. 0 knowledge bounces over. Do this. NV12. Disabled buffering. Something is lagging and I don't know what it is. It's not my CPU. Huh. Perhaps it might be the app even. Are you guys detecting enough lags over there? Ah. Yeah, I don't think it's my, like I said, I don't think it's my PC. I think it's the fact that it just has issues right now. Video quality now 240 for me. Huh. So that new encoder must not be doing the trick then. Yeah, stream is disconnected, attempting to reconnect. Yeah, it seems like it is the encoder that is being used. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna restart the stream since it's still 12:11, and well, I'm just gonna change the encoder and hopefully that works a little bit better. So yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry. Let's do this proper closure on this. Definitely the encoder. It seems that the new NVIDIA encoder is not ready for use. Sorry, NVIDIA. Just look for the same thumbnail. I'll change the title later.